Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Schulz. Today's story is a Japanese fairy tale from Green Willow and Other Japanese Fairy Tales. This is Karma. The young man, Ito Tatewaki, was returning homeward after a journey which he had taken to the city of Kioto. He was on his way alone and on foot, and he went with his eyes bent upon the ground, for cares weighed him down, and his mind was full of the business which had taken him to Kioto. Night found him upon a lonely road leading across a wild moor. Upon the moor were rocks and stones, with an abundance of flowers, for it was summer-time, and here and there grew a dark pine tree, with gnarled trunk and crooked boughs. Tatewaki looked up and beheld the figure of a woman before him in the way. It was a slender girl, dressed in a simple gown of blue cotton. Lightly she went along the lonely road in the deepening twilight. "I should say she was the serving maid of some gentle lady," Tatewaki said to himself. "The way is solitary, and the time is dreary for a child such as she." So the young man quickened his pace and came up with the maiden. "Child," he said very gently, "since we tread the same lonely road, let us be fellow travelers, for now the twilight passes and it will soon be dark." The pretty maiden turned to him with bright eyes and smiling lips. "Sir," she said, "my mistress will be glad indeed." "Your mistress?" said Tatewaki. "Why, sir, of a surety she will be glad because you are come." "Because I am come?" "Indeed, and indeed the time has been long," said the serving maiden. "But now she will think no more of that." "Will she not?" said Tatewaki. And on he went by the maiden's side, walking as one in a dream. Presently the two of them came to a little house not far from the roadside. Before the house was a fair garden, with a stream running through it and a stone bridge. About the house and the garden there was a bamboo fence, and in the fence a wicket gate. "Here my mistress dwells," said the serving maid, and they went into the garden through the wicket gate. Now Tatewaki came to the threshold of the house. He saw a lady standing upon the threshold, waiting. She said, "You have come at last, my lord, to give me comfort." And he answered, "I have come." When he had said this, he knew that he loved the lady, and had loved her since love was. "Oh, love, love," he murmured, "time is not for such as we." Then she took him by the hand, and they went into the house together, and into a room with white mats and a round latticed window. Before the window there stood a lily in a vessel of water. Here the two held converse together. And after some time there was an old ancient woman that came with sake in a silver flagon, and she brought silver drinking cups and all things needful. And Tatewaki and the lady drank the 3 times 3 together. When they had done this, the lady said, "Love, let us go out into the shine of the moon. See, the night is as green as an emerald." So they went and left the house and the small fair garden behind them. Or ever they had closed the wicket gate, the house and the garden and the wicket gate itself all faded away, dissolving in a faint mist, and not a sign of them was left. "Alas, what is this?" cried Tatewaki. "Let be, dear love," said the lady, and smiled. "They pass, for we have no more need of them." Then Tatewaki saw that he was alone with the lady upon the wild moor, and the tall lilies grew about them in a ring. So they stood the livelong night, not touching one another, but looking into each other's eyes most steadfastly. When the dawn came, the lady stirred and gave one deep sigh. Tatewaki said, "Lady, why do you sigh?" And when he asked her this, she unclasped her girdle, which was fashioned after the form of a golden-scaled dragon with translucent eyes. And she took the girdle and wound it 9 times about her love's arm, and said, "O love, we part. These are the years until we meet again." So she touched the golden circles on his arm. Then Tatewaki cried aloud, "O love, who are you? Tell me your name." She said, "O love, what have we to do with names, you and I? I go to my people upon the plains. Do not seek for me there. Wait for me." And when the lady had spoken, she faded slowly and grew ethereal like a mist. And Tatewaki cast himself upon the ground and put out his hand to hold her sleeve, but he could not stay her. And his hand grew cold, and he lay still as one dead, all in the grey dawn. When the sun was up, he arose. "The plains," he said, "the low plains, there I will find her." So, with the golden token wound about his arm, fleetly he sped down to the plains. He came to the broad river, where he saw folk standing on the green banks, and on the river there floated boats of fresh flowers, the red dianthus and the campanula, goldenrod and meadowsweet. And the people upon the river banks called to Tatewaki, "Stay with us. Last night was the night of souls. They came to the earth and wandered where they would. The kind wind carried them. Today they return to Yomi. They go in their boats of flowers, the river bears them. Stay with us, and bid the departing souls good speed." And Tatewaki cried, "May the souls have sweet passage, I cannot stay." So he came to the plains at last, but he did not find his lady. Nothing at all did he find but a wilderness of ancient graves, with nettles overgrown and the waving green grass. So Tatewaki went to his own place, and for 9 long years he lived a lonely man. The happiness of home and little children he never knew. "Ah, love," he said, not patiently, I wait for you. Love, delay not your coming." And when the 9 years were past, he was in his garden upon the night of souls. And looking up, he saw a woman that came towards him, threading her way through the paths of the garden. Lightly she came. She was a slender girl, dressed in a simple gown of blue cotton. Tatewaki stood up and spoke. "Child," he said very gently, "since we travel the same lonely road, let us be fellow travelers, for now the twilight passes and it will soon be dark." The maid turned to him with bright green eyes and smiling lips. "Sir," she said, "my mistress will be glad indeed." "Will she be glad?" said Tatewaki. "The time has been very long." "Long and very weary," said Tatewaki. "But now you will think no more of that. Take me to your mistress," said Tatewaki. "Guide me, for I cannot see any more. Hold me, for my limbs fail. Do not leave go my hand, for I am afraid. Take me to your mistress," said Tatewaki. In the morning, his servants found him cold and dead, quietly lying in the shade of the garden trees. And that is the story of Karma, from Green Willow and Other Japanese Fairy Tales, written by Grace James. This is Dan Scholes for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Google Play, anywhere that you like to get your podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio and TuneIn Radio. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every weekday morning. Thanks for listening.